Hey, West Ham fans. Well, that was a tough game to watch. It was definitely the result we needed, and I think we're all breathing a sigh of relief after watching that game. But there were so many things that were so frustrating about that game, and once again, it just became this defensive play that we see from David Moyes all the time. And I don't know. I was like biting my nails for the last 20 minutes of that game, just hoping that we could hold on to the lead and everything. And really didn't have any attacking prowess in the game at all. And I know that he kind of changed the formation to a 4-4-2, but it really wasn't working. And it was just kind of interesting to see the other manager making changes quite quickly, like coming on in the second half with two substitutions straight away to try to affect the game and change the game. And David Moyes, of course, didn't change anything at halftime, even though it clearly wasn't working from an attacking perspective. And waited again till the 60th minute to bring on two subs, which were pretty much like for like changes, was not really a change in strategy. And then, I was screaming for Cornet to come on much sooner than he did. He comes on in the 88th minute. Like, how is that? How is he going to change the game or affect the game? Now, I know he missed, was clear through on goal, 1-on-1, and should have scored. But he'd been on at that point and had two touches of the ball before that. So it's not like he's completely warmed up and ready to go. As if if you brought him on at half time, or at least when you brought the other substitutions on in the 60th minutes, that would have helped. But it was kind of just frustrating. Again, I think the opposition, we got Fulham at the right time. They really, they've lost a few games in a row. They're missing one of their best players, and that was definitely noticeable in terms of their just finishing in the final third and everything. And so we probably got them at the best time we could, but it was definitely not a convincing performance. And if you perform like that against a Man City or an Arsenal, like the games that we've got coming up, we're going to be in trouble. I know some of the other YouTubers out there are saying, that they're much more relieved and they feel like we're going to avoid relegation. I'm not quite there yet. I feel like, we've got a tough running of some pretty tough games, and I'm a bit concerned that we won't get many points from the next few games. And so maybe I'm just pessimistic, having been a West Ham fan for 45 years, but yeah, let's wait and see. I did make some notes about the game. Um, I mentioned the substitutions that they changed at halftime, and we did nothing. That was really frustrating. It was really frustrating to watch us. We could not get out of our zone. We could not put more than one pass, two passes together. We kept trying to just throw the ball upfield for Ings and Antonio when they were both on, and it just wasn't working. Like, we just weren't getting balls up to them, and so we were just kind of pinned back into our own half for a long period of the game. And then every time we tried to do something, it was kind of frustrating to see that we just couldn't move the ball around. Um, I was sitting there at 52 minutes and being like shaking my head and saying, why hasn't he made any changes and everything? It was clear there was just simple mistakes. I mean, we were good defensively, but still there were little things like, Ogbonna and Cresswell going for the same ball, and then both of them left it, and it ended up going out for a corner. I don't know why when the substitutions came round, he put Flynn Downs on instead of and replaced Fornals with him. I think we've all said this. Like, if you look at Souček's stats, every time Souček touched the ball in the first half, he did not look comfortable. His tackling was not accurate. Like, he's just not the same player that he used to be. And I'm gonna do a video on that coming up, kind of comparing some of his stats. But yeah, I didn't know why you would have replaced Fornals with Flynn Downs when it would be a much cleaner change to instead switch Souček for Flynn Downs. Some of the stats they were doing, I watched, I unfortunately have to watch it on TV. I'm in North America, but some of the stats they said at the 75-minute mark, they said Fulham had 67% possession so far in the game, which is just a crazy stat against a team that right now is not at their best. So, I mean, imagine what it's going to be like when we play Man City, who's a real possession game. That's going to be it's going to be miserable unless we change something. Um, One like Fabianski made some real redeeming saves, compared to the mistake he made in midweek. So we were, I felt we were really lucky that we didn't concede a goal. That the defense stood strong, but it was definitely scary at different points. Um, and then yeah, like I mentioned, Cornet coming on in 88th minute and switching out for Antonio. Antonio really did look slow. He didn't again look like he was ever a threat in front of goal. So I'm hoping Skamaka comes back soon and comes back fit, and then hopefully you can play Skamaka with either an Antonio or an Ings. But we'll see. Like I feel like we really need some different options up front that we're not creating any options. So um, anyway, we got lucky. Let's see how the next games go. It's definitely frustrating right now being a West Ham fan. Um, I'm gonna do other videos around David Moyes. Like for me, and I think a lot of us as West Ham fans, his time is up, and it's really frustrating that David Sullivan doesn't see that. You know, I, it's clearly not working. Even in the games that we have won against pretty bad opposition, there's so much that you look at and you say, why are we setting up the way we're setting up, or whatever it might be, and that, you know, David Moyes is almost just robotic about his changes. There's no new ideas. There's no fresh ideas. And so why is it that all the West Ham fans can see this, but David Sullivan can't? And the excuse a few weeks ago was there was no other options out there. Well, that's not true anymore, right? There's Brendan Rodgers, who I think all of us would love to have him over David Moyes right now. So let's see. Hopefully, we can get a couple more wins here over the next few weeks and keep ourselves in the Premiership and make it a little bit more easy to focus on what's going to happen next season. But until next time, see you soon. Come on, you Irons.